OpenAI has just launched 3 new AI models. The UK government has until Monday to decide who owns your content, and new research says plug and play AI is a myth. Let's talk about what actually matters. Okay, so on with our first story, which is OpenAI's new models, the new ChatGPT models. So on the 5th of March, they released the 5.4 models, which included 5.3 Instant, 5.4 Thinking, and 5.4 Pro. Now, with this, they did retire some of the 5.1 models, so you need to look at your APIs and your automations. If you do use those with 5.1, just make sure they get updated so your automations continue to run. Now, there's some headline numbers in here, but the main one is that 5.4 scored 83% on a benchmark that tests expert level, economically valuable tasks, which means responses are 18% less likely to contain factual errors compared to the previous version. So what does this mean? Right, lots of models, lots of numbers, as always. So what matters is ChatGPT can now take actions inside of Google and Microsoft apps. Not just draft an email for you to copy and paste, actually send the email. It can create the document. It can schedule the meeting. It's a meaningful step beyond what it could do just a month ago. But the real story is not GPT-4 5.4 itself. It is the pace. In the last 2 weeks, OpenAI launched 3 models. Anthropic boosted Claude to 1 million token context windows and doubled free usage limits. And Google rolled out Gemini across its workspace. 3 major launches in 10 days. That's the speed the market is moving at. So for a business owner, what's the takeaway? On this one, it's pretty simple. You don't need to chase every launch. These tools are getting better every month. Pick one, learn it properly, and know that it will only improve. The worst thing you can do is keep switching between new tools every time there's a new headline. On to our next story, and that's that Microsoft have launched Copilot Co-work, a new way of getting work done. Instead of AI helping you in one app at a time, this works across Outlook, Teams, Excel, Word, all of it. You describe what you want done, and it does it. Multi-step tasks across multiple apps. But at roughly £80 per user per month on top of your existing license, the maths needs to work for you. For a 20-person team, it could be over 19 grand a year just on this one tool. So the question isn't, is this clever? It is. The question is, does it save you enough hours to justify the price tag? My honest take, let the big corporates kind of be the guinea pigs and work this stuff out, watch what works, read the reviews, then decide later on this year whether it's worth it. Next up, Google rolled out a major Gemini updates across workspaces on the 10th of March. Sheets can build entire spreadsheets from a plain English description. Docs can pull information from across your drive. Gmail summarizes email threads automatically. The AI is now more personal, more capable, and it works across your apps rather than in just one. The catch is the same. The good stuff sits behind the premium tiers. AI Ultra and Pro subscribers get first access. So check what you're paying for before you get too excited on this one. Overall, here's the pattern across all 3 stories that we've gone through so far. GPT 5.4 can now write docs and send emails. Copilot works across your Microsoft apps. Gemini works across Google Workspace. AI is not a separate app you need to learn anymore. It's showing up inside the tools you already use every day. That's the real shift. The barrier to using AI just dropped. But do not buy AI tools because they sound impressive. Buy them when you can point to a specific problem they can solve and put a number on the time that that's going to save. Next up, Cognizant published research on the 10th of March that says plug and play AI is a myth. They surveyed businesses across multiple sectors and found that companies overwhelmingly preferred guided implementation. IT services firms delivering real enterprise value from AI, not off-the-shelf tools left to figure it out for themselves. This lines up with everything I'm seeing. The tools are getting easier. We just talked about that, but easier tools do not mean easy results. A bunch of small businesses will have the same story. Sign up for an AI tool, play with it for a week, get some mildly interesting results, then you stop because you don't know how to connect it to the work you actually do every day. The research also found that 82% of AI users report productivity gains, but the keyword is users. The businesses that get results are the ones that take time to set things up properly, map it to a real process, train the team, measure what changed. That's not plug and play. Takeaway: don't blame the tool if it did not work. Ask whether anyone actually set it up to work for your business. There is almost always a gap between buying the tool and getting value from it, and that gap is where the real work needs to happen. Before we hit this next story, I just want to say, if you're finding this useful, like, subscribe, comment. First time ever being on camera, so I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to bring you the stories. I'm going to try and tell it in a way that makes it useful for you, cuts through the noise of AI, because there's a lot of noise. Talk about what's actually practical and working, and let's go from there. Let's build it from there. So, next up, the House of Lords published a 180-page report saying AI companies are scraping UK website content, art, music and writing without permission, payment or even telling people. Under the Data Use and Access Act, the government must publish its official response and an economic impact assessment by the 18th of March, which is 4 days from now? 3 days from now. So what does this mean? If your business creates content, blogs, photography, design, training materials, your work might already be in AI training data. Nobody asked, nobody paid, nobody told you, and the Lords are calling it strip mining, which is not subtle. The options on the table: keep the law as it is, require AI companies to license the content before using it, create a broad data mining exemption or a limited exemption where creators can opt out. The Lords are pushing hard for the licensing route. There's also a pilot planned for summer 26 called the Creative Content Exchange. The idea is a marketplace where AI companies pay fairly for the content they train on. Whether that actually works remains to be seen, but whatever they announce on Monday matters. If they side with the Lords, expect real restrictions on how AI companies operate in the UK. If they side with tech companies, expect a backlash from creative industries. I'll cover the decision in next week's episode. Okay, next up this week is that Jack Dorsey's company Block cuts 4,000 jobs as it embraces AI. That's 40% of their workforce. Dorsey said AI means smaller teams can outperform larger ones, and the stock of Block jumped 25% on the news. But here's the context. Block tripled its headcount between 2019 and 2022, and the stock had already fallen 40%. So this is the noise versus signal story of the week. And it's exactly the kind of thing this video podcast exists to cut through. Was this an AI transformation? Or was this a company that's overhiring during the boom, watched its share price drop for 2 years and found a convenient narrative to dress up cost-cutting around? The answer is probably a bit of both. AI does make some teams more productive, but going from 10,000 to 6 people overnight and calling it an AI strategy stretches the definition just a touch. So the word to watch for is AI washing. It's when companies use AI as the justification for decisions that they were going to make anyway. Investors love it. The stock went up 25%, but it doesn't mean AI actually caused the change. So what's the takeaway for a small business? You don't need to restructure your team because a headline told you AI means you need fewer people. Restructure when you can point to a specific task that AI handles better, and you've tested it yourself, you know things work, but AI is here to enhance what humans are able to do. It's there to take away all that kind of boring admin stuff and just get staff and leaders of businesses to actually get the time to focus on what matters, and that's growing the business. So the business get it right they'll be the ones making calm, measured decisions based on what actually works, not chasing headlines. Okay, and next up we have that the Lloyd's Business Barometer says a third of UK businesses plan to invest in AI this year. AI startups raised over £6 billion in the UK venture capital in 2025, the highest share on record, and 82% of AI users report productivity gains, with 76% seeing improved profitability. So I've saved this one for last because it connects everything we've just talked about. The money is flowing, the tools are getting better, But here is the kicker. More companies plan to invest in training their people than in the technology itself. 35% are planning to increase training spend this year, and the number one barrier to AI adoption is not cost, it's skills. That lines up perfectly with what Cognizant found earlier. Plug and play does not work. People need guidance. If you are starting from zero, do not try and do AI. Pick one specific problem, see if AI helps. That's it. And if you're already using AI but not seeing results, the gap is probably not the tool. It might be how it was set up. Right, that's it for the news. Every week after these videos, I'm going to finish with a prompt you can take away and use straight away. So something that I think is going to be useful to you as a viewer. I'll show you how it works, and the full prompt is on my website. A link is going to be in the description. But first, since this is episode 1, a quick word on how to write a good prompt, because most people try and question and hope for the best, but there's a better way, and it takes about 10 extra seconds. So there's a few frameworks out there. We'll talk about one now called Scope. The Scope framework has 5 steps and works with any AI tool. So the S is for the situation. Tell the AI who you are, what your business is, what your team size is, what industry you're in, and those kind of details. Without this, the AI is going to give you a generic answer. The C is challenge. Be specific about the problem you're trying to solve. So don't say, help me with marketing, but say, I need to write follow-up emails to leads who visited our stand at the trade show last week. O is for options. So if you're comparing things, tell it what things are on the table that you want it to compare. P is for parameters. So your constraints, whether it's your budget, your timeline, your skill levels. E is for evaluate. So tell it what shape you want the answer in. Do you want a comparison? Do you want a recommendation? Do you want a draft? You don't need all 5 every time. Just the S and C at the start will get you a notably better result than just asking a question. But yeah, if you can follow the prompt, you'll find you get much better responses from your AI. So this week, the prompt we've got is, should I buy this AI tool? We've talked a lot at the start about kind of ChatGPT 5.4 and Gemini and the prices of these tools. Every week, there's going to be a new tool promising to change your business. So this prompt is going to do the homework for you. On the site, you've got a copy prompt button, and all you're going to do is replace the orange information with your specific details. Now, just a word of warning, don't put any kind of confidential type information into these prompts, because if you use ChatGPT, for example, that information is going to be processed over in the USA. So again, on this one, you're going to fill out the scope section. It's going to tell it about your business, the tool you're considering, what your budget is, and it's going to evaluate across 5 different areas. So it's going to talk about the situation, the challenge, deciding if the buying tool is worth it, the tool and any alternatives, any questions to ask, and if you just want to straight away just go and buy it, if you should wait or if you should skip. It's also going to consider 3 alternatives, what it actually does, what they claim it does, because lots of these new tool releases are pretty amazing. They make really good leaps, but is that leap something that you're actually going to use in your business? That's really important. And this will help you just try and draw that out and see if this new, for example, ChatGPT 5.4, if the differences to bring it up to 5.4 are actually worthwhile for you and your business. Okay, so just to wrap up for this week then, one sentence for this week. AI is moving fast, but moving fast without thinking is just expensive chaos. Pick your problem before you pick your tools. Next week, the UK government will have published its copyright response, so I'll go over that in the news. We'll break down what it means for your content, your website, and your business as a whole. If this was useful, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you all next week. But just before I drop off, I've added a new 60-second assessment to my website. This assessment is trying to look at your business and your business model. You answer a few quick questions and it'll give you an idea of the kind of automations and AI enhancements that can be made. So it's there, it's free, doesn't need any details. If you get to the end and you want me to come and have a chat with you and see what we can actually do, just drop your details in the bottom at the end and it will send me the results. But there's no sign up, anything like that required. Just click on the button, answer a few questions, and it will tell you the kind of things we can do. Thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. First episode, very exciting. See you next week.